Hey guys, Nick here. Today we'll be casting a solid aluminum ball. I used to melt aluminum in a charcoal chimney, but since then I built a new metal foundry. The design I used is one Grant and Thompson made a couple years ago. I just used some plaster of Paris, place sand, and water to get this nice refractory lining that'll last for a little bit. I added a little bit of steel wool in the sides there to act as, just to give it more support so it doesn't break down and crack as easily, and it'll last longer in general if you add the little steel wool. I just got grade 2 steel wool. That's all the local hardware store had. But you can use anything from grade 2 and up, I'd say. Go for more of the grit stuff. For air supply, I use this little 50-cent hair dryer I got at the thrift store. Yeah, it's pink, but let's be real here. It does the job just fine. I attach a 2-inch PVC pipe to it. Then I have an adapter to 1-inch gun to the steel pipe. I also have a backup air supplier in case that blow dryer just freaking dies. Just a blower, some 6-volt battery, and a 4-inch to 2-inch adapter just to slip onto that 2-inch pipe that'll go down to the 1-inch pipe, and we have ourselves an air supply. The fuel I use for this is a big bag of lump charcoal. Now, lump charcoal comes in many different sizes, so the sizes that are too big, I just crush up with a hammer, and it does the job, crush them with a hammer. Get them to the right size so I can just slip them in there and get all the layers. I put a layer in the bottom. I put about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of charcoal on the bottom of the crucible, so that way it just helps melt everything faster, and you kind of need it to add some extra heat. Then I build around the crucible, turn on the hair dryer, and light it on fire. It is important to note, do not turn off the hair dryer while it's still in the foundry. The escaping heat will travel up the pipes and burn up the hair dryer. So once it's lit, I put my lid on and wait for everything to heat up. With this new furnace, things heat up much faster. I should have a pool of molten aluminum in about 35 to 45 minutes. I melt down some old scrap aluminum, bits of aluminum already melted in cans to make mini metal aluminum muffins. I'll melt these ingots down and cast this ball. I got a new crucible, which is a ton better than any other crucibles in existence. It holds heat really well, and it's very solid. It's a nice graphite one, and I love it. Got it for 24 bucks off eBay, and it does its job extremely well. Cast an object, make sure it is a substance that burns very quickly. The most common type is styrofoam. I'm using the styrofoam ball I bought at the dollar store. So to cast it, cover your object completely in sand. I'd recommend using a very fine sand to retain as much detail as you can. I'm using a soup can that I cut the bottom out of, and I just buried it in sand to act as a funnel to catch any extra metal that doesn't go into the mold, or catch any escaping metals so it doesn't go all over and burn the bucket like last time. I'm also using a styrofoam strip attached to the ball just to act as a little channel for aluminum to go down, so I have a nice solid casting of that ball. Now it's time to pour the mold. First I grip it on the top with both the tongs, then I wait for the sparks to clear so I don't burn myself, because that's a result of lump charcoal. If you do use lump charcoal, it will emit a shower of sparks. But I transfer it onto a nearby rock so I can grip it properly to pour it into my mold. The metal has made contact with the styrofoam when it bursts into flames. I kept pouring until the funnel started to fill with liquid metal, and I'm not sure what happened, but something there had a violent reaction. It wasn't moisture in the sand, because sand has pretty good properties for venting violent steam explosion pressure. I don't know, maybe there's something in the sand, like the sand is made of something that reacts with extreme heat. I don't know, maybe it was the styrofoam. I'm not sure. Luckily I set no liquid metal flying anywhere though, but it was kind of weird. It was weird. After I pulled it out, I cut off the extra metal and kind of sanded it down. I wish I had a polishing wheel so I could really get in there, smooth it out, get all the little dings out, and polish it up, make it look really pretty. But as you can see, it didn't turn out perfect, and I think I know why. It's because the ball isn't solid styrofoam. So as the metal came into contact with the ball collapsed, and the sand around it didn't hold its form, so the sand collapsed too, leading to this flat spot on the top. So my solution to this, I think, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to encase it in plaster of Paris. Use that as kind of like alternative sand. The reason I think is because the ball, as the heat got to it, the ball started to collapse, and the sand around it collapsed with the ball because sand didn't have that really good of a structure. But if I use plaster, even if that ball collapses, that mold, this plaster of Paris, that ball mold in there, is still going to hold its shape. It's not going to collapse just because the ball is starting to collapse. So I should get a perfect casting of the ball, and who knows, it might even be smooth because there's not going to be a bunch of little rock. It's not really that coarse like the sand is. I don't know, leave any suggestions you might have down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Peace out.